So what I heard from Councillor Nunziata and Councillor Palacio was this is supposed to be a temporary use, right? And Councillor George was right, and so is Councillor McMahon. These things are not very easily accepted, and here we are, we're extending it out another 5 years. This is not the agreement that we had with the community. Firstly, they're asked to accept something that they really kind of don't want. But you send people in, you try and convince them, and you basically say it's going to be a temporary use. And now this report comes back and it says, you know, we're going to extend it another 5 years. I think the community is right, and I think the councillor's right, to view this with a healthy degree of skepticism, if not suspicion. And I think I'm going to support Councillor Palazzo's motion. We said it was going to be temporary. It should be temporary because, you know, 10 years turns into 15 years, and then, you know, then what does it turn into? Temporary starts to become permanent. And that's not what they were told. There was a bargain made with the community, and the community, you know, had some serious concerns, and we should do the best that we can to keep that bargain.
The fact of the matter is we just don't need this shelter. We need, I think, 10 more. And if this gets turned around and doesn't get put in, we'll have trouble locating another shelter anywhere else in the city. I'm the one, more so than anybody else in this room, when people are homeless in this city, has to answer for it. And I'm not going to answer by saying, well, I'm terribly sorry. We just couldn't find anywhere to put a shelter because people kept pushing back. Our conscience as members of this city council, as people elected to come here and deal with these issues and deal with the problems of our most vulnerable people, should be what's on our mind now. 4 pages, in some cases, of unprecedented improvements or things that were done to make this shelter more acceptable to this community, and to make it to the point where when our officials, I don't want to put words in their mouth, when they were out there the last time we were out there a week or so ago, they said it was unprecedented in terms of the kind of place this would be, the number of services that would be offered to people in this building. They'll be among the best cared for people in the entire city.
We are not against shelters in any way whatsoever. I do have shelters in my area. Is the way it was done and how the community has been, through a number of communications, misled. And that's where I have an issue overall. It's not the shelter itself.
I think I will just say, I've taken more than my time. I will just say I think the beginning part of this consultation with the public was very poorly handled. And I think if we'd gone at it this way from the beginning, the result would have been different in terms of the feelings of the community, but we are where we are.
The fact that you said that we need 10 more of these, and that we already have this set up, and that we have these extensions in place, it seems to me that we're left with no other choice. If we need 10 of them, this is going to become a permanent shelter.
The 10 more we need or whatever are meant to look after our needs in the short term until George Street and other things are done, so that a lot of these are temporary. While we refurbish well, there's 4. Okay, I exaggerated. I think we originally needed 15, and we've now obviously got 5 or 6 that are done. So we need 4 more.
4 temporary.
4 temporary.
4 temporary.
Okay.
And other ones
But recognizing that, Mr. Mayor, you can appreciate the suspicion that the community has that this is going to be permanent, that this potentially could be permanent.
Well, but you've heard our staff. This is why I don't like having people say our staff are misleading people. You've heard them say this one. We're only talking about this one tonight, and it's one of the temporary ones. And they're saying it's temporary. When George Street is done, this will close or be repurposed if we still have the lease in place.
Right, but you can appreciate the community.
Yes. And is our job to fuel that suspicion or to try and dampen it down?
Really don't appreciate some members of council thinking that I don't support a shelter. I support the shelter. I didn't support the location at first, but I negotiated with my community and we got 50 rather than 100. It's the way we communicated to the community. It's wrong. And if it was your community, you would be just as upset as I am, Councillor Bylaw, Councillor McMahon. If you say something to your community and then you retract it, then you have to justify that. And that's wrong. That's what's wrong about this whole process.